Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right, Capricorns. I wanted to go ahead. Actually, that's not the deck I want. I wanted to go ahead and take a look at more of a specific message where we're going to look at little details, perhaps, but I am very specifically looking for what are the good things coming up for Capricorn. Okay, this backdrop just is. It makes me so happy, and I'm a mountain person myself, so this is a very appealing backdrop to me. And I wanted to take a look at something. The sun is shining through and we don't look ahead to the positive things in the future often enough, I think. So I wanted to do that with this series. So we start with the Fool in the reverse, go to the Six of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Emperor upright. Okay, so first off, I'm getting somebody is like drinking some really tasty beverage. I don't know if they've recently come across like something that has great health benefits. I'm actually picturing something that is like berry related. I'm picturing more like the sakura, like cherry blossoms. I'm picturing somebody who's, or maybe even one of those like, there's some really wonderful blends of some of the fruits that are native to Asia, and there's like natural sweetness and kind of like versions of like dates and stuff, and you boil them and it's very colorful and very aromatic. I'm picturing somebody who's drinking or getting turned on to some kind of like wonderful like beverage, something like that has health benefits and is yummy and is pretty. Also strange, I don't know if there's somebody who's like into sunflower seeds or pepitas or some kind of like seed. I feel like somebody's eating like superfoods or something, and that could be something in the upcoming future for Capricorn. And maybe it's going to be like they're finding just the right things for their health and wellness, whatever it may be. I don't know, but it feels like a Capricorn is more gravitating right now toward like nutritious things that actually they might discover like, wow, I feel so much better, whatever this gravitation toward healthier things is. I feel like Capricorn's going to hit on some things that now become a part of their daily practices. Now, we don't have crazy fast change in Capricorn's upcoming life. We don't have, also, I don't know if there was something to do with a reptile, but I feel like there's, if there was like a reptile where Capricorn was like, oh, I hope that lizard didn't get into my house or something like that, I feel like that's not like Capricorn's going to get good news on some kind of reptilian thing. I just feel like there's something here about, I mean, sometimes we refer to somebody as a reptile. If there's somebody who's like very cold, this could be, Capricorn was like, look, if that person winds up becoming the boss, I'm quitting. And it kind of feels like that's not going to happen. Or, somebody who is ice cold reptilian, something like that. It feels like it's not going to prompt like big upheaval or sudden action. So it almost feels like somebody is not something that would have been perceived as negative or would have made Capricorn want to jump up and leave or run or something. That's not going to happen. And so that could be really good news. Like I said, oh, thank God that person's not going to work here. They're not going to become the boss. Thank God, because I was going to quit or I wasn't going to stay in this department. And now it's like, oh, what a relief. Something negative that would have been very sudden prompting that seems to be alleviating, and like life is taking like a more stable turn of events somehow. With that Six of Pentacles, we have, I don't know if Capricorn has really great hair right now, but if somebody's doing like a hair care routine, I don't know why so much of this feels like Capricorn's going to be taking really good care of themselves, but I feel like somebody's got like the most amazing, I don't know if they're doing like one of the hair gloss treatments, or some hot oil treatment or something, but it just seems like, God, Capricorn's hair might be just spectacular. Skin too. With that Six of Pentacles, I kind of feel we do have the Libra scales here, but it feels like somebody is going to be, I don't know if somebody has something to say to Capricorn that's really going to just make Capricorn feel so much more relaxed. Like, oh my God, I'm so glad that the same, perspective that I have on something. And it just makes me feel really like I have somebody in my corner or somebody who gets it. And it just kind of feels like there's I'm being vindicated somehow. I think Capricorn's going to be feeling vindicated, that somebody either like has their side or sees it through their lens or shares a concern that Capricorn also has about a situation. And it's just like, oh my God, what a relief. I feel like I'm really like the world makes sense again. I feel like I'm connecting to somebody who has the same perspective. And it's just such a relief to know that I'm not just out here, I'm the only person seeing it. I'm glad somebody else sees it the same way I do. It feels like there's friendship, there's somebody who's like standing beside Capricorn. With the Page of Swords, this could be a year where Capricorn is really going to start having some big breakthroughs. Like a lot of different pieces of Capricorn's life have fit together like a puzzle, and they're starting to realize that I have like kind of crazy amounts of skills that are all applicable in a way that I haven't previously like fully appreciated. And now I can admit that I have those skills. It feels really, really good. Somebody could be graduating from something this year as well. This could be Capricorn, or it could be, I'm actually picturing like a son, daughter, niece, nephew. It does feel like a younger person, but that could also be like a real capstone for Capricorn, especially if it's like their adult son or daughter. And it's just like, I'm so proud of them. This is just what they wished for. And that adult son or daughter could really like take off. They could really have some huge success in their life after this. And that could also, um, I don't know why this seems so crazy, but sometimes when someone else in our world has a lot of success, we benefit from it. There could be somebody who could become quite wealthy, and that in turn could trickle back into Capricorn's life. But Capricorn themselves seems to be like achieving some new level of wish fulfillment. I think there's a whole bunch of things that are going to become possible. Like Capricorn's life is going to become more like, let's say there's just a little bit more financial abundance. And what they can now do with that is like, oh my God, I've been lifted a bit out of poverty, and I can do a little bit more now, and I can make some of these other dreams come true. It feels like Capricorn has worked long and hard and is having like the achievements now, the success, like their life's about to get a little easier. Now, there is somebody else I could see Capricorn ending up moving to be with somebody, and this somebody could also be extremely, extremely wealthy. There could be a love story on the horizon for Capricorn where this could be somebody who owns like a quite a piece of property or a business that is like, maybe it's a whatever, like a strip mall where they own the entire thing, and so it's like commercial property and it's like many, many different suites or something. But it does appear that Capricorn is going to wind up in a connection with somebody who's not only stable, loving, and giving, but this is somebody who has a huge amount of resources, and they're very they are an empire builder, but with love as the first thought process, right? They look militarized, but if you look, they actually have all these flowers instead of military insignia. This is somebody who, God, this is such a great character, especially for Capricorn. This would be somebody who has a really wonderful perspective on, what they would like to see blossom and grow, what they'd like to be a part of. They could be somebody who likes to offer opportunities to others, but they also have like a really great reputation. It feels like they're going to be very well liked, very well respected, and I think that their connections could be far and wide. How is Capricorn meeting this person? Because this is feeling like the person that Capricorn's going to marry. Okay, Judgment. This could be somebody who comes back into Capricorn's life. They could have been like an old friend to Capricorn. I'm almost getting this image in my head here of Capricorn has, this could be somebody who like was friends with Capricorn maybe many, many years ago, like as kids, as teenagers, whatever, somebody they went to high school with, first boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. And then life, everybody goes in separate directions. And this is many, many years later, this comes back around. Many, many years later, this feels like It feels like a comfortable person. It feels like somebody who was always a good person that Capricorn has a good rapport with. And this is an individual who they've always been a more serious individual, but whatever they've gone out into the world and done, and maybe they did do it. I could see them doing like a tour in, some kind of, military stint. But then what they've come back into the civilian life as is somebody who wants to like build things within a community. And it feels like they are, I don't know if they're making a beeline for Capricorn, but they certainly have a memory of Capricorn. Four of Swords. I don't know if Capricorn has recently picked up something like yoga. I picture somebody who has like a pale blue, like stretchy, like outfit or something. Maybe it's pajamas though, or maybe it's like, their favorite like leggings or something like that. Leggings and crop top for working out at the gym or doing yoga or doing some kind of stretch routine. I picture like there's like a favorite outfit that looks really, really nice on Capricorn as well. But it does feel like this emperor is going to be a dream come true. I also think they're going to bring ease into Capricorn's life. If Capricorn's been hustling, hustling, hustling most of their life, this is somebody who shows back up in Capricorn's life, and they personally, they maybe have been hustling too. They may have had a few extra legs up in life, though, that have allowed them to move a little further and sit a little more comfortably. But I have to say, Capricorn is like this little sweetheart that they have wanted somebody like Capricorn back in their life for a really long time. I think it's going to be a huge blessing that Capricorn turns out to be single when they come back. This feels like somebody who's returning into Capricorn's life. I don't think Capricorn was like, oh, it's the person I've always pined for. I don't get that vibe. I get this as like an old acquaintance, old flame, somebody Capricorn knew many, many years ago. But I think they may be like coming back to town, hoping Capricorn, wondering about Capricorn anyway. And it's crazy because I think it'll be perfect timing. Like Capricorn's going to be single, maybe only recently single, but have healed, have been taking care of themselves and getting their energy back. I think it's a perfect time. And Capricorn could be like, it feels very serendipitous. Like right when this person who is thinking, God, I'd love to share my life with somebody. And, I can't help it. This Capricorn has kind of stayed in my mind. I've always kind of wondered what happened and wondered where they're at. I wonder if I went back to town. I wonder if I saw Capricorn. I wonder if there would be anything between us. This feels like somebody who always had a bit of a flair for Capricorn. And they still do. I think it's going to be perfect timing. King of Cups. They definitely always had a thing for Capricorn, didn't they? I kind of think that even if it's a little awkward first meeting, I think that they are going to soften almost immediately. I think Capricorn knew the soul of this person a long time ago, and they show back up. This really feels like old, like, we're talking 25 years ago, 15 years ago, something like that. Maybe it was an old colleague or even an old boss, but they are most definitely the ones wanting to sail into Capricorn's life. They want somebody that they feel comfortable with, that they feel they bonded to. And I have to say, they always had an attraction for Capricorn, whomever this person is. They could be somebody who's done like scuba diving. They maybe have like, they've wanted to swim with sharks. I could see them at one point like wanting to go and do exciting things. But I think now they're a very loving, gentle person. I gotta say, Capricorn comes across as somebody that is has always been a real looker. I think Capricorn has always had like something about them that's pretty eye-catching, either the way they dress or the way they are. I feel like Capricorn's always been a bright spot on this person's mind. If we look at that card immediately, so we see the ladybug smack dab in the middle, right? We always see this energy of like Capricorn being very eye-catching. They may love Capricorn in red, by the way. And I don't know, this feels like a prom dress. It feels like somebody that Capricorn went to prom with. Something like that. That looks like such a prom dress to me. And so this could be like an old prom date who comes back in years and years later. It's quite sweet though. It's quite sweet. I don't know if there is a particular song, something that has like a horn section in it that is going to be like their song or something that, it's like, oh my God, I remember, dancing with you. This just feels so beautiful and it feels so, they could have a beard, by the way, they had a beard in both of those cases. And I feel like this person hasn't changed a whole lot other than maybe thicker beard, maybe a little bit like thicker in, like just the countenance of them could be just a little broader than before. But I got to say, man, they're looking at Capricorn like Capricorn has always been the person that they, you know, has always pulled their eyes. And I think that they're coming back to Capricorn. All right, I'm going to leave this one here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Bye.